Now, another example, if we move on to the next slide, is a top leadership program for AF Gruppen, which is the biggest Nordic construction company. Situation was quite typical for our leadership team with new members after a period of strong growth and several acquisitions. And so the objective was to get these leaders think more long-term and get them out of their very, very operational day-to-day business. And so here the idea was, here what we did is we actually confronted them with scenarios for their industry in 10 years from now. And we asked them, well, have you actually thought about that? And the answer was, well, but not all of them. Now, what would that mean for your company? And it was quite interesting because some of the leaders said, well, for my business unit, it wouldn't be a big problem. And others said, oh, well, if this really happens, if this scenario comes true, then I'm really in a very difficult situation. And so we helped them to deduce what they would have to do today to prepare for those different scenarios. So that was the first input, but then we also brought in external speakers from companies, for example, a green champion in the construction industry, who showed them what they have done to make the business much more sustainable. And so that opened doors for thinking about, okay, how can we become, by 2030, the most sustainable construction company in Northern Europe? And I'm saying that being aware of the fact that Northern Europe is quite advanced compared to the rest of us. On the second day, we then said, okay, well, now we know roughly where we're going, and they continued working on that after our intervention. The second day was about, okay, now how do we actually put that into place? How do we implement that? And there we brought in several case studies from successful construction companies throughout Europe who actually run their business in very different ways. We let them discuss what it would mean if they ran their business like a Bouygues, like a Vinci, like a Goldbeck, so in a very different way. And from there, they explored what they're going to do with their individual business units. So basically really going all the way from thinking long-term, pushing them to think long-term, showing them different ways to make it happen, and then letting them decide themselves, okay, what does that mean for me as a leader and for my business unit? And great news here, they've come back. I already have a blocker in my agenda for 2025, and we're going to accompany them in their strategy process, because what they said is actually, you managed in a very short time to kind of open a horizon, and you helped us to do a first step towards how do we get there. So transformation, that was a day seminar. So here you go with examples on how we can help you as an organization to build capabilities.